Welcome to the Narrow Urethra Podcast. It's been a long time coming, and it's a little different. You get to see us in person now, and you get to see me in person now. Usually we're doing it through Zoom or just audio for this podcast. But you don't need any introductions for me. You've been hearing me talk about King of the Hill for 9 episodes now. Doesn't seem like a lot, but a lot of work goes into it. But I am super, super excited today because I'm joined by the OGs, the people that kind of got me into doing this type of stuff, the people that I feel like are my mentors and I've learned a lot from, and they kind of keep me in check. But first off, I'm going to go to my right, and it's, if you've seen him on all interviews, trying to trip up all the MCU actors, buddies with Tom Cruise and all this, the one and only Joe Deckelmeyer.
Did you bring up that Tom Cruise story specifically from Comic-Con that one year?
Yeah, exactly.
That is great.
Exactly.
It is great to be back doing this with you guys. It's funny because we have a group chat, a little group text that we've been doing about talking about doing this show. By the way, I'm a little shocked that this is the first time I'm doing your show for this. Like, we've known each other for years, and it took you 9 episodes to ask me to be on one of these episodes. You've been 9 episodes in. But it's crazy because we have this text chain, and we were talking about which episodes to watch. And also, I'm sure, full transparency, I've never seen King of the Hill up until doing this show. So I'm happy that we're talking about it. But we have this group chat, and we were talking about some of the episodes, and I was like, hey, let's just do it live because we haven't done a show like this in quite a while. Think about this for a second. I thought about this as I was driving over today. So it was a different president the last time we did a show.
That's crazy.
It was during a global pandemic.
Yep.
And I was at a different company. Mm-hmm. And the world's completely changed. You had some health issues. We haven't done an episode in a long time, the three of us.
Yes.
It's been quite a while.
And then to the furthest right, Battlestar Galactica.
Holla at your
himself.
boy. It's me, the intergalactic instigator, Battlestar Galactica, a.k.a. Daniel Jerome. So, yeah.
You have a lot more AKAs.
I know.
Oh,
He
yeah,
used to.
I'm trying to keep you guys calm,
Daniel's been on the podcast with me and my other co-hosts multiple times talking about the show, so he knows the gist of how things go. But I'm gonna give you a little rundown on how we do things on the show. When we first started the podcast, it was during the pandemic. Sure. Everybody's in this little world in their mind, like, I'm losing my mind. Right. I gotta find something. But the one thing that has kept me sane, and me and my friends sane, is reminiscing about how good and how timeless King of the Hill is. Sure. and the show. So I had the podcast equipment, I had mics, I had a space at the time, and we just talk about it one by one. The initial start, we wanted to break down each episode. Mm-hmm. That does not work.
No, it does not.
The episodes are like Simpsons episodes or Futurama episodes. They're very like, there's so much going on. There's so much dynamic stuff going on that you can't just build a show around 22 minutes.
Sure.
But a lot of stuff happens in 22 minutes. So what I've gone to do is I've gone to curate a lot of the podcast episodes around the people that I have on. So specifically you two, you being in the entertainment industry as well, and both of you being into sports. You got your New York Yankees hat on. So I curate a lot of the episodes that I have you guys watch, and have you watch them, and then that way you have kind of a little bit of background without going too deep into the weeds of the show. I mean, we've done this. We got our start reviewing Power Ranger episodes.
I know. Chronologically.
Chronologically.
Yes.
And you know how hard that is. I mean,
I was gone by Power Rangers in Space, I think. I was gone.
Yeah, you just left us there.
I didn't leave the thing. Handed it off.
Yeah, sure.
But I started this during the pandemic. The pandemic started, stuff started opening up, got a little bit more busy, and I kind of fell through the cracks. But I wanted to start it up again because last July, we got a revival series, season 14 of King of the Hill, which I never thought in my mind that it was going to ever happen. Never thought in my mind. I have the audio on this, but I can't release it. I did an interview with Greg Daniels, who's created...
Why can't you release it?
The PR told me that I couldn't release it at
Is
the time.
that true?
It is true. It is true. They hit me up after. So I had an interview with Greg Daniels for the show Upload, which he did.
Yeah.
Upload is a show on Prime. He also did Silicon. He worked with the Mike Judge on Silicon Valley, and he's also worked on The Office, also another fan favorite of ours.
Right.
I did an episode, or I did an interview with him about Upload, and at the very end, as you know, when you're doing interviews, you want to always talk to them about the current project that they're working on, and if time permits, maybe slip in something that you kind of wanted to ask, and try and want to get an article out of, right?
Sure.
So I tried that. I didn't ask our boss Rob at the time that I was going to do it. Didn't ask anybody. So I did it. So I asked him at the time. It was 2019 or 2020, right in the heat of the pandemic. I said, "So, I know you worked on King of the Hill. Could that show be continued, or could you make that show now in today's
Like landscape
with this generation of viewers?" And he said, "That's a very tough question to answer with everything going on at the time. Everything's heated and stuff." And he got, I can't remember the exact words he used, but he tried to dance around being political about it. And then at the end of it, they said, "Well, can you not add that into the interview for the upload?"
You're like, that's the reason I did the interview. Right?
That's the only reason. That's the only reason I did the interview. So after that, I was like, "Oh man, this show is never gonna get made. There's no way that they're ever gonna make it." Prior to the revival happening, they did a Beavis and Butthead revival first.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
And it was hilarious. Like,
I didn't see it. I wasn't a big Beavis and Butthead guy growing up. Though. Like I remember watching the movie.
Yeah.
But that's like the extent of like all I really knew about it.
Yeah. I didn't watch it like from start to finish, but I catch episodes here and there. The new season's a little bit more. It's easier to digest because you don't need much information. So the fact that he did that, I went to a panel and Mike Judge was there, and I had asked, "Well, you did this. Are you gonna make another? Okay, are you gonna continue King of the Hill?" 13. If you don't know, 13 ended a really weird episode. It was a con episode. Their neighbor from Laos. And it was just him about being a manic depressant, and it ended like that. It was just a weirdest ending, or at least how they released it. So I asked Mike Judge, like, "Are you guys gonna continue it?" And he's like, "Surprisingly enough, there are talks." The next month they announced it, and then Comic-Con last year they released it, and it was a King of the Hill Comic-Con. Through and through.
I remember we went to the activation. Jezzer was having the time of his
life.
life.
They rebuilt Arlen right there. They were handing out little Alamo beers, but it was water.
Yeah, we were playing like games.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was so crazy. So when we had a media suite over in the Bayfront Hilton, and when they said that they were interviewing King of the Hill, only thing I asked, could I be in the room? That's it. Could I be in the room? We went to a party at I think it was the fandom party over at the Hard Rock that night. Joe and Ash Crossman came up to me. He's like, "You know what? We're gonna have you ask them a question." I was like, "No freaking way!" I was so hyped. I had this hat on, had this shirt on, had a bunch of pins.
So that Comic-Con, just for preference, we were kind of like me, Ash, we're doing the media suite together, and I remember I had the Alien Earth panel come in, and Timothy Oliphant was there, and Ash was like, "Hey, like if you get a chance, ask about his character Cobb Vanth in The Mandalorian. She's a big Mandalorian fan."
Yeah.
So I essentially was like, "Hey, Ash Crossan wants to know," and she was in the room, so I made sure that like we got it on camera, and I think she like popped in, and there was a moment. So we did the same thing for you with this, and that's where we had you talk to the whole cast. And his question was really good.
Yeah, the room wasn't expecting. I think it's because a lot of the people in our group at the time weren't there when we were doing stuff with Screen Rant and them at the beginning. Right. So they was like, "All right, well, ask your question," and then I guess our producer in the studio was like, "Whoa, you just came in hot, like nothing, like as if you've had practice, you've been practicing this for a while." I mean, to be honest, I had 13 seasons worth of questions, and the question hit pretty big. Like the articles came out about it, and instant gratification getting the answer when they answered it.
You were even featured on the social media for King of the Hill's activation.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can tell us what
I even think you were in like the newspaper, I think, at some point.
Yeah, I was in a newspaper. It was King of the Hill, like at that summer kind of engulfed my whole life. So a few months ago when they announced how they're doing season 15's coming out right now, or like in July, I was like, this is freaking crazy. It's gonna go for a while. I feel like it has legs. If you guys haven't seen the new season, check it out. It's in a way like still true to the story, but also has adjusted to the times and speaks to a whole new generation. It's amazing, especially like seeing them age up. Like I think with Simpsons, they wanted to keep that continuity of keeping them as kids, but I felt like that held them back a little bit in telling deeper stories.
Oh yeah.
With this show, there's huge time jump straight from Bobby in middle school, and now he's an adult, has his own restaurant. It's amazing. Honestly, you could watch the 14th season and be totally fine because they do a lot of flashbacks.
You know, it's interesting because there's another show that I think is also a revival that's doing extremely well, and I think it's because of the same type of technique the King of the Hill used, and that's Scrubs.
Yes.
Scrubs is crushing it right now.
I knew it.
And it's like
Scrubs.
it's because it took a little bit of a gap and it came back and they aged everybody up to see where everybody's at now, and it crushed. Like it did extremely
Very
well.
good. Very
so I feel that like there's this system that if you can kind of like play to that audience correctly while growing a new audience, you have something. I feel like the original, like Saved by the Bell, like tried to do that, but it wasn't the same type of magic because it leaned too hard into like the meta side of it.
And leaned too hard into the campiness also.
Yeah. It was a different tone.
There is a fine balance with revivals, and they're going to keep doing it. Every show is going to keep doing it. There's a fine balance. The Fuller House revival.
The one I'm waiting for is Lost.
Oh, Lost
Once
revival.
that
That'd be
I,
cool.
man, that's
Yeah.
It's
I
going to
don't
eventually
know.
happen. I mean,
But
essentially it's Yellow Jackets or whatever it is.
But-
Right?
Yeah.
But the kind of the intent of me doing this podcast with people who haven't seen the show before, especially you, and my fiance is watching it from the start to finish now, and we talked about like when she was very hesitant to watch it because she thought that it was this, it's just a bunch of hillbillies and there's no depth to any of these characters. It's just, stupid humor. But then when she actually learned it, it's like, oh man, there's a lot of like different dynamics going on here. Peggy is one of her favorite characters.
She's great.
And she's really loving it.
She's like a super mom.
Yeah, it's like, and I knew she'd love it because she loved The Office. So it's Greg Daniels. Greg Daniels, he doesn't really miss. Like a lot of his work is great. And Mike Judge, Extract is still one of my favorite Mike Judge movies.
What's Extract?
Okay.
With Jason Bateman.
Oh
It's
man!
I don't think I've seen this movie.
jeez.
such a great film. So at the end of this, I am hoping that you don't stop at the 4 or 5 episodes that I had you watch. You want to start from the beginning. Like The Office, though, the very first season is a little bit hard to get in. Like, it's hard because they're getting their footing with the
Timing, comedy,
animation. They're getting their footing with the timing, with these characters. There's some like plot holes there that they fix later on. But I think if you stick with it and you get to at the season 6, we talk about Bobby when he's kicking people's balls.
Yeah.
That was my jumping off point when I first started.
Jumping off point.
That was my jumping off point.
Why?
It's just such a. It's called Bobby Goes Nuts.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I loved the episode. That was the first episode I watched.
That was
It's
so
just
good.
such a good starting off point because you don't need to know too much about what's going on. It's something that, especially I don't know about you, but something that a lot of us dealt with growing up, getting bullied and feeling insecure in your own skin and all that, and trying to find a way to like make it through middle school or high school or any way that you can. So Hank told him to go to the YMCA, learn boxing or something. He thought he was going to learn boxing or martial arts, and he didn't know that he ended up taking some women's defense course.
Wait, why was that your jumping off point though?
Oh, okay. So back when GameStop was still a thing, I used to buy a lot of games and DVDs, and they had just random season 6 DVD. Bought that. It's like, I've never seen King of the Hill before. This is before streaming services were a thing.
Wait, time out. So you hadn't seen King of the Hill before you saw that?
Not during its original airing.
Wow, so you saw it on the back end.
On the back end.
That's crazy.
Yeah, maybe 10 years after.
And how did you discover it? Through this?
GameStop.
Wow.
GameStop and just finding the DVD set.
Okay.
It wasn't even the whole set, it was just season 6. So, yeah, I watched it. I watched season 6 over and over, and then it popped up on Netflix when Netflix started streaming stuff. And then I remember Netflix, I didn't know this at the time, but when shows get taken off streaming services is because they lose the license to them.
Right.
I was watching it religiously through Netflix as I'm working on cosplays, as I'm like doing homework, as I'm working, and then out of nowhere they stop. So me being me, I hit up a lot of the Netflix hotlines. I'm like, yo, where's my fucking show? Why'd you take it off the air? And I was cussing. I was pissed. It's like, oh, well, we lost the license to it, but we still got Futurama. And I was like, oh, fuck Futurama. And I hung up I was pissed. I was so freaking pissed.
Wow.
Yeah.
Does Greg Daniels know this
I know. I
story?
was just gonna say, like, man, Greg has to be sitting there right now, like, I'm turning this shit off. Like, just he's mad.
That's how much me and my friends love this show. Like, we just insert any catchphrases into it.
You got into it through season 6, but how did you get your friends into it at the same time, or were they already into it?
My other friend Davidson has been watching it since the start.
So he was already into it.
He was already into it.
And then you were like, oh, hey, I saw the show. I really like it. And you guys bonded over this love of King of the Hill.
He actually showed me, back when YouTube was still in its infancy, they did a YouTube poop where they would take clips of different shows and kind of like merge them together, add some weird stuff. It's kind of like Brain Rot now, but it was called YouTube poop back then. And it was of King of the Hill. And it was something along the lines of they're talking about bullfighting. I'll send you the video. It's hilarious. So that clip prompted me to be interested about King of the Hill, going into GameStop, finding the season 6.
But you had no intention of going to GameStop for King of the Hill. It's just something you came across.
I was trading in a bunch of games thinking that I was going to get money for them, but GameStop.
And then you ended up walking out with the King of the Hill DVD.
I traded a bunch of PS3 games like, oh, what games can I get? What system can I get with this? And then they're like, we can only...
Was this before or after the stripper incident that you...
Oh, man.
Oh,
dude.
man.
Wasn't that for like a PlayStation? Wasn't that a...
You have to find that on another show.
Yeah, exactly.
God, those are the times, right? So watching this immediately, the first thing I wanted to bring up real quick was that I had never seen the show before, but immediately I heard the theme song, and it was like this nostalgia bomb because I remembered the theme song almost instantly, and I was trying to figure out why, and then I realized, it was the lead into The Simpsons, and if you're a millennial, or especially an older millennial, you at least had to have watched one episode of The Simpsons. I didn't realize the show was on for like 14 seasons. So when you were like, watch this whole show, I was like, this is pretty daunting. That's a lot of... And mind you, I'm a big rewatch guy, so I go through cinematic or rewatches all the time in chronological order. I think you guys
just did Supernatural?
I got through halfway through because I did the panel, but halfway through Supernatural. But I did the MCU, Star Wars, and now I'm on Star Trek.
Okay.
And I'm almost done with Star Trek, and I think the next thing I'm going to do is Lord of the Rings. But yeah, so like I want to do King of the Hill now, but hearing the music instantly brought me back to like the late 90s, the early 2000s of like watching The Simpsons, especially like the Treehouse of Horrors, and then like staying for it and then remembering that King of the Hill was on next because I remember that theme song so well. So iconic.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing to see. So the episodes that I did have you watch was Bobby Goes Nuts.
I love that episode.
And then the other one was Hank's cowboy movie.
Yeah.
You guys are huge football fans. You are
San Francisco 49ers, baby.
49ers. You have a team?
Bang, bang, Niner gang.
I'm Green Bay. I'm Green Bay.
You didn't say that with confidence.
Yeah,
you didn't say that with too much
You got
confidence.
New York hat, but then Green Bay.
We weren't that
team.
great. Man, yeah, and I'm finally picking a basketball team, and I'm going to have to pick the Knicks.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I'll root for the Knicks.
Hey, we were there in 4,
Yeah,
so that's
I'll
good.
root for them. So with the Hank's Cowboy movie, pretty much he wants to do a movie that entices the Cowboys to come to his town, make his town part of the Dallas Cowboy history, which is it's not too far-fetched because it's in Texas.
Sure.
And, you can bring it
I mean, here we're in Manhattan Beach. This is like the home of the San Diego Chargers where they train at the facility. It's like right up the street.
Yeah.
So like in the Lakers would have a training facility here too. So
ironically, the Cowboys now train where I live in Oxnard.
That's
during the
hilarious.
summer. So
So you're like the real life Bobby Hill at this point.
Yeah. So if I ever get a chance to talk to Mike Judge again, I'll be like, yo, you want to make an episode in Oxnard where Hank goes to California? You sent him over to Saudi Arabia, California, where all the
Wait,
craziness
Hank Hills
happens.
went to Saudi Arabia?
Oh, yeah, season 14, man.
14.
Oh,
That's where all
that's
his
how
growth.
and it starts, like, the season starts with him coming back. Oh, man, I don't want to ruin it.
It's so good. It's so good. So I want to ask him, like, bring him to California, have him walk down Venice Beach, all in the guise of him going to see the Cowboys training camp or whatever, you know. But yeah, I mean,
This is like your King of the Hill fan fiction.
this is my fan fiction,
As long as he gets a moment where he gets to see the Netflix building and say, overrated. That's all I want. That's all I want.
Or a little middle finger to the
Yeah,
Netflix
you know?
building or something. Yeah.
Something, or maybe like an executive comes out. I don't know. Something where it's like, no, look, buddy, you're canceled.
Yeah.
He's like,
So I mean, there's so many like so many sectors of the show that actually intertwine with a lot of who I've had on the show. So sports, you guys are huge sports fans, but you're also in the entertainment industry, and at one point and another, you've been part of multiple companies. We were part of that hashtag show and our own baby, the Illuminati, you know, which is gone now.
The implosion of the
The
Illuminati.
implosion of the Illuminati. So we've been talking about we've been in this universe for a long time, and having see both my fandoms and both my interests kind of like collide. It just is just an easy intersect for me to try to make some, I don't know, some content out
Was
of.
it more of like a therapeutic thing for you? And also, just out of curiosity, when you were watching it way back when you found that DVD, what year was that, and which character did you identify with most? Did you find yourself being the Bobby, or did you find yourself sometimes falling into being like, I feel like Hank is justified sometimes?
Ah, that's a good question. So at the time, it was probably 2013, maybe 2013, and I was definitely identifying more with Bobby.
Okay.
Me and my dad, like I have a good relationship with my dad, but he definitely comes from a separate generation than I do.
Sure.
He was like, be the engineer, be the doctor. You know, coming from an Asian family, that's all you hear. Be that, be this. And that is the same dynamic that Hank has for Bobby. And once you go through the show more, you understand that Bobby he seems like he's all over the place, but he has things that he knows he wants to do. Initially, he wants to be a comedian, kind of like...
prop comic.
Yeah, he wants to be a prop comic, and then later on you learn he has an affinity for cooking and stuff. So which carries on into the new season. So having that parallel between Hank and Bobby and me and my father is where I kind of identified more with Bobby. As I get older, as I'm seeing like the new generation come in and all that, I do feel a little bit of Hank, you know.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like a little bit of Hank sometimes. You know, you see those videos of the they call them takeovers.
Sure.
Yeah,
With the e-bikes and stuff.
Yeah.
And then, like, when you look in the comments, like, all the kids like, oh, just let them be free, let them be free. And I was like, man, I am not, this is not my generation anymore. Like I'm just thinking, get these bikes out of here. Again, like,
Well, Jezzer was like the monitor too. I remember at anime conventions he would yell at kids that were running down the hall and be like, he would be like, walk, don't run. There's rules. There's rules to this or whatever he would say.
There's rules in this country. I remember that.
so yeah, in that sense, yeah, I definitely identify with both now. And I would love to get my dad to watch it, but he is strictly, like, he even tries
What does your dad watch?
Yeah.
He's like the, you know, the only Marvel movie that he really likes.
Is he like watching Reacher and like Jack Ryan and
Reacher,
stuff and like
he's that type of guy.
Lioness and,
Yeah, he's
my dad was
ex-military.
similar.
You know?
Same.
Yeah, so like the only Marvel movie that he really loves is the Iron Man films and Winter Soldier.
Okay, Winter Soldier makes
Winter
I feel like
Soldier's a
that's
really good one.
Yeah, it's a good one. And I told him, like, you just got to get past it, and you know.
It's a lot though.
Yeah, it is a lot.
It's a lot
It is a
to-
lot.
to
We're
intake.
me and Karina are actually going through it right now, and
The MCU.
yeah, the MCU
Oh,
right now.
I should send you my watch list.
Yeah.
It's in chronological order.
We just,
everything.
dude,
Yeah.
people shit on the Incredible Hulk all the time.
Yeah, it's not great.
But Thor: Dark World
It's
is
also-
way worse.
it's my least favorite
It's
Marvel
way
movie.
worse.
Thor: Dark World is a horrible, horrible movie. I'm
It's
sorry.
way
not
I'm
worse.
sorry.
It's so bad. But anyway, I digress. Yeah. So if you do get into King of the Hill,
I'm gonna
and
start
have
at the
that
beginning.
Start at the beginning. Just you got to fight through the first season, and you'll get there.
That's how it is for almost every animated series.
Yeah.
That,
No, I disagree.
That holds
Simpsons?
the
Simpsons
test
first
of time, and blah blah blah. Which I mean, there aren't. That
I mean,
many.
I don't know. I
I'm
feel
not
like I
saying-
maybe think now that we're getting there's this great show on Netflix. I know we were talking about Netflix earlier, but it's called Long Story Short. It's incredible.
Man, but that's like an anthology series, isn't it?
It's not necessarily. No, it's the same characters. It's about a family. The best way I would describe it.
You're right.
It's from the creator of BoJack Horseman.
Yeah.
But I would describe it as like, you know who Bill Lawrence is, the guy that does
Shrinking.
It's the animated version of like his style of stuff.
Ooh, well,
so
I'm
I would
gonna check that
strongly recommend watching Long Story Short. It's really really good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the way that I pitch King of the Hill to people, because a lot of people like to put it in the same guise as Family Guy, Futurama, and Simpsons. The way that I put it is, it's more of like original 90s, early 2000s sitcom, but animated. It's not.
So I think King of Hill is interesting because of the family dynamic. I think that on the surface, like when I would think about King of the Hill, much like your fiance Karina, I always thought too, it's just about like this Texas family that I'm not going to find relatable. And then when I was watching those episodes, I was like, oh man, these are all dynamics that even within my own life, I don't have necessarily a King of the Hill style family, but even within my own life, I feel like those dynamics are so real.
Yeah.
Right. So I feel like even Hank's friends, his own friend dynamic.
I mean,
is
Josh
really,
is Dale.
yeah. Like we have these people within our own lives. So like, the thing is, the show was really relatable, and I love the show the episode we started with. I know that the one that we're here for is the Cowboys episode, but that Bobby kicking people in the nuts episode,
Dude,
I feel like
Bobby
it gives
goes
you so
nuts.
much of the development, not just with Bobby, but also his his neighbor. I don't know her name. What's her name?
The neighbor.
Yeah, his girlfriend.
Connie.
Yeah, Connie.
Yeah, there
like
you go.
get to see their relationship, and I thought her dad was hilarious throughout that episode. There's just
Dude,
so
you
much.
get him. Go for him. He's
And then
weak.
like some of the other episodes I watched too, where they become firefighters and they start blaming each other. You see like their
Exactly.
friend dynamic. And listen, we've been there in these situations, building up #Shore the Illuminati, and we've had these crazy experiences happen to us. So it almost felt like relatable in a way. So now it's one of those shows where it's like, and literally it had me laughing out loud in certain moments where I was like, this is actually really funny.
Did you watch the episode about the beer, the Alamo beer?
I did. So where he takes the shot, the football $1 million shot. So I thought about that. Would you have sacrificed the shot, the throwing and the?
So what had happened is it was kind of like a Charlie and the Chocolate Factory type situation where if you find like a special message at the bottom of the beer, you get to go to a Cowboys game in New Orleans.
And you have to do a 10-yard throw into like a circular thing for like this
a circular beer
promo.
can. Yeah.
Oh God.
So if you do it and you make it into make that shot 10 yards, $1 million flat out. If you have the celebrity,
it was a pro quarterback, former Cowboys quarterback. I can't remember his name.
I think
It wasn't Marino,
No,
but it was a
couldn't be
former
Dan
Cowboys
Marino.
quarterback that played way back when, and he's the person that was going to throw the shot. But if he throws the shot, it's only for $100,000. But you got to think it's a 10-yard shot. He's a professional. Chances are he's a quarterback. That's his job, right? So Hank struggles with this kind of dilemma, whether or not he's going to take the shot himself or whether or not he's going to let this quarterback take it. And then he goes, I think it's Bill. Is it Bill?
Bill.
His friend. So Bill has like this family kind of reunion. They don't mind.
This is the first time you actually see that type of.
Peggy doesn't know, or at least Peg, is that her name?
Peggy, yeah.
Peggy, she doesn't know much about the family, and he has this Creole family, and it comes from like this rich kind of Creole background.
No tree.
Yeah, where they're trying to because he's the last heir of his family line.
Yeah.
So all these women are from this family are trying to get with him. One of them's his cousin, but he doesn't know which one. It's a great episode, but also I think what Bobby is going through in that episode's hilarious too.
Because he's finding himself.
He's finding himself. Yeah, right. He's really feeling that lifestyle.
Yeah.
Right. And Hank hates it, which I thought was kind of hilarious as well. But you could see that like we all come from a different generation of like I guess for lack of a better term, I guess, masculine father figures, I'd say.
Right.
Like
You're
really,
talking about toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
So like we come from that era, right? So I think we were all, for the most part, raised the same. So there's a little bit of like that hesitation, that older generation that you can kind of see from Hank and Bobby. And I think that stuff was hilarious. Like seeing Hank just throw out his like clothes in the pool was hilarious. But I like that episode. But I also like the dilemma because I think that like, because Hank can I spoil this episode? I don't even-
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's
So
been
Hank
years.
Hank lets the quarterback take the shot, and the quarterback misses the shot. And then Hank tackles the quarterback to the ground, and then after that, like he tells him, he's like, "Listen, I'm going to take you back to the field, and we're going to let you try to do that 10-yard shot." And Hank makes it, and he goes, "Well, how does it feel?" I was like, "Well, it's not the same because there's nobody here, there's no crowd here, there's no pressure." And he's like, "Well," he's like, "At the very least, I wanted you to at least take off your jacket to try." And he was like, "Well, I was training in a different climate and it was cold, so I wore a jacket and I wasn't going to risk like
breaking that cycle.
And then Hank finally understood. So I think that episode has so much heart, but also such a great learning moment for Hank. Not just with his son, not just what money can do, but taking a chance on himself. I actually really like that episode a lot.
Yeah, and we talked about toxic masculinity, like being present in the show in a way. I mean, not to the extremes. Like Hank's not to that extreme where he's like beating his kid for not being a certain way or anything. He's just, his catchphrase with him is like, "That boy ain't right. That boy ain't right." But it's just like observing Bobby in that way and just kind of letting him be how he is, and just, you know, a little bit of a disapproval. But as the show goes on, you see that they connect more. Just to give you a little bit of a teaser of how it progresses later on in the new season, they even have a episode where they kind of tackle the Andrew Tate type people, like the red pill type people.
The manosphere. Yeah.
And they show that Hank is, you know, he understands that, and he battles that type of mentality. So like a lot of people like to, like, you know, put it in a box like, oh, it's a show about hillbillies that, you know, are uneducated and everything. But no, it's a show about this Texan man who, in all sense of the word of being a Texan, he's got conservative social ideals, conservative financial ideals, but putting him in this situation where he has to adapt.
Sure. It's a show about tolerance.
Tolerance, yeah.
It is.
So it's more than that. And I think that maybe from an outside perspective, just visually seeing it and not actually like watching it, I understand where that idea comes from. But once you actually start getting deep into who these characters are, you find a little bit of you in all of them.
I think that there's a bit of this that can be a little disconnecting for an outsider looking in, because I don't relate to Texas lifestyle. I don't relate to living in the South. But if you can get past that and see, because look, I understand why the show is successful, because there is a lot of middle America that sometimes feels the same exact way Hank does, right? And this is just their way of kind of like working through that in animation, which I think is brilliant.
You say that you know, you can't really relate to.
Oh, I relate to the situations, and
lifestyle.
I relate to the characters more so than anything else. Like I don't have to have the same issues as somebody in Texas to understand some of these things that we all go through. You know what I mean? Like the generational trauma from the people before us, or even what we're leaving behind. Yeah. Like I see all that through the lens of this show and their family dynamic, and also their neighbor dynamic, and even some of Bobby's uphill struggles that he has to deal with in like young society, being in like high school. I'm assuming he's in high school, right?
Yeah.
Middle school, high school.
Well,
Also, I have a question. So the female, where's it? Leanne, is that her name?
Oh, yeah. Luann.
Luann so how is she she's not Bobby's sister.
No, she's his cousin.
So why is she living with that family?
So Luann is the niece of Peggy. Peggy's brother is in jail for either drugs or something. That's her dad.
Okay.
So she lives with them because she doesn't have like a stable
This is
lifestyle.
like Ted. Have you guys watched the Ted show? Ted, the little bear?
Yeah, kind of.
Oh, yeah,
kind of like Ted.
yeah.
But yeah, you say that, you know, you can't really relate to a Texan, but as you said, you guys are both like parents now. Like,
Yeah.
so you get to understand from that aspect as far as like how Hank deals with Bobby, how
everything's different now.
how Con deals with Connie, And ironically, the story behind Connie being Connie is because he initially wanted a boy. So,
Yeah.
So her name is actually Con Jr. But yeah, or even how Dale deals with Joseph, who's his son, but not really.
Not really his son.
There's more that goes into it with that story, and it gets really funny.
But you had us watch this Dallas Cowboys episode, and I really, really liked the episode for a handful of reasons. But one of it is this. I love the way that Hank kind of got his crew together, being like, you know what, we should bring something to this town, and then it became this self-reflection of like, oh, this is all the stuff that makes this town great. Which I thought was like really kind of inspiring. But a lot of the stuff that Hank and all them were doing reminded me so much of like the early days of us starting out, of like when we would go to conventions.
That's exactly why I brought it.
Like,
Exactly.
like I haven't done this in a long time. I actually haven't done it since hanging out with you when we did. I don't remember. I think it was Dallas. I think it was Dallas Fan Expo Dallas.
Oh yeah, we had to create the content.
We had to create the content. So like that was, and I haven't done it since like that because, but I remember like doing booth interviews and stuff like that, and it was so nostalgic because we hadn't done that since like. I couldn't even remember, maybe like 5 years. It's been a long, long time. So it was just this nostalgia trigger for me of being like, wow, I forgot we used to do this. So watching that show back, I kind of felt, especially during those hashtag show days, I felt Hank's pain when things were not going his way.
Is it Arlenians or is it
Right.
Arlenites?
Oh,
or like
God.
and just clashing with producers and directors and not having the same goal, but having different paths.
Different visions
Yeah.
to it too,
Different
yeah.
paths. Well, like as we learned in Dallas, like it was a little bit more freeing and easier to do this because we got to create our own content.
Oh, sure.
Today in this
For a second, I thought he was talking about the Dallas Cowboys. Were you talking about Dallas Fan Expo?
Dallas
Okay,
Fan
got it.
Expo, yeah. But today in this generation, in order to get ahead, you kind of have to like cater to like certain people's
Look,
expectations
Are we
of what
talking
they
about
want.
just like the people that are within our landscape in this
yeah,
generation?
exactly.
So, I talk about this a lot, like with other people within my industry, and I think about this often. Is that, man? I was just talking about this with Stephanie earlier today. I feel that like there is so much opportunity for kids out there to create content because everybody has one of these in connection now.
Yeah.
You can do it. You can do it. Like there's nothing stopping you.
Nothing
from doing
stopping
it.
you.
I felt like, but the content can be so oversaturated at times. You just got to find what your niche is. But it's wild because now we're starting to see this shift, at least with what I do, and having these content creators work. And I have so much respect to them because I was on a trip, like a press trip with them in Thailand, and I just saw from them talking about an idea to them executing an idea and seeing the finished product all within the course of like 30 minutes. And I was shocked.
Wow.
Like how they were able to like do all that
They
stuff.
have it.
They have a system for
They
it.
have a different system than what we had back in the
yeah,
day.
like their
Yeah.
mind works differently. I can only imagine with wrestlers, right? Telling like an old school wrestler putting together a match and then like seeing one of these new guys like jumping around doing all this stuff, being like, all right, so that's what we're doing. So like it's the same type of thing, right? Like this new generation, what they're doing is amazing. But the question I have for studios is like, does that equate to ticket sales? I don't know. I don't know what those metrics look like. I do think this though. There's absolutely a place for content creators within our industry. And I think there's struggle between other journalists that are like, well, they do trash work, they do this and that. I don't believe that. I think that they work their asses off. I think they do great stuff. I'm watching a lot of content creation myself and getting inspired by this younger generation. But I think there's a place for everybody. I do think, though, that with what I do, I can only imagine how traditional media, like network television, felt when digital journalists like myself were coming in. Right? Like, oh, they're just an online website.
Yeah.
They're just this or just that. But now I'm starting to see that with people that are like me, seeing these content creators come up. But for me, I'm not like that. If anybody that knows, like I really try to be as helpful as I can to the next generation because at the end of the day, like I know how hard it was for us. And like there wasn't a lot of people we could lean on. We had to figure it all out ourselves.
All of it.
So I would hate for like anybody that wants to get in this space to be discouraged because of that. So I just try to help people as best I can.
We did crazy
We
stuff.
did crazy stuff.
We did crazy stuff.
We would never be able to
One
get
of-
away with
Oh
any
no
other
way!
stuff now.
So much gorilla stuff.
One of the biggest movies, like in the 2020s, was Spider-Man: No Way Home. we were there as just to sit and watch the movie.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Just to sit and watch the movie. We walked by this tent. It's like, oh, did you guys do your COVID test already? He's like, COVID test? No, we didn't. It's like, oh, what's this COVID test for? It's always so you can get on the carpet. It's like, oh, okay. So we did that, and then we were on the carpet. We were walking on the carpet with all the Spider-Man,
That was a fun
Sony execs,
That
and
was
everything.
the last Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
No Way Home.
Yep. So like, I'm just saying, in that sense, we had to kind of like really like, be trailblazers for our own selves. Try to make our way into the industry.
True.
That so they have like different paths that
Look,
are set.
There are rules to this stuff now, but the thing is, back then, I was either too stupid, naive, or a little bit of both to really follow any of those rules. Because you don't know what you don't know. And honestly, that was the biggest advantage I had, is not knowing how to navigate the landscape. Is because if I don't have the information I didn't know, I was just going to do whatever I wanted. And luckily, that worked out for me in the end. Mm-hmm. But if you were to tell, if the brain that I have now, I would not tell that guy to have done it that way now, because things are just so different and things are done so differently. Now I understand more. Like there's a different level to this.
And then if you're watching this, like coming in halfway through the episode and like
this is about King of the Hill, right?
This is about King of the Hill. It is like that's what I enjoy about doing this show, is like it opens up a lot of topics about other things. Like I get to talk to my friend about the struggles that he had raising his son when they had like kind of like a weird situation, or struggles of connecting with another one of my friends who it's not their biological kid, but they've learned to love them as their own, which is something that Dale has done for Joseph, even though they never acknowledge that Dale knows whether or not Joseph is his son. I'm pretty sure he knows it's not his son, but it doesn't matter to him. Like, it doesn't matter that that's not his son. It's like there's so many things that intertwine with just all of our personal lives within the show. Ironically, that it's that's why I think it's a deeper show than it is.
Well, do you feel now that it's back for season 14 or whatever it is? Now that you feel like you've grown with the characters as they've grown?
I just think that the landscape, to allow the show to like come back and kind of like give them a voice, give this whoever's writing the show, whoever is enjoying the show, give them a voice to how to go on this journey through how things are now. Like, and I think that I feel like a show like South Park, where they're never scared to like shy away from whatever things are going on now and just face it head on, and calling things dumb that are dumb. Just like pointing out common sense.
Sure.
They tried to get canceled multiple times, but they still fight through. I think that with King of the Hill, they're not trying to attack those things. They're trying to like build awareness to certain things.
Yeah, no, I think it's a really smart, relevant way to do that. Like I said, Bill Lawrence is really good at kind of creating, like if you look at something like Shrinking, right? It's opening up the conversation of mental health. Mm-hmm. Something 100%. that and they do it in the guise of comedy, and they outright sometimes say the thing that you don't expect them to say. Mm-hmm. But the core of that message is like everybody kind of needs to help sometimes.
Yeah.
And I think that you have this genuine type of thing with King of the Hill, even like something like Scrubs, like I mentioned earlier. It's this sense of like, it knows exactly what it is, but has so much heart underneath it. And I love shows like that.
I think you're going to really enjoy the show, especially Nancy's storyline. We talk a lot about like, how you have to always reinvent yourself to stay within the industry.
Even now.
You always have to reinvent yourself. That's a struggle that Nancy goes through throughout the show.
Do you feel like that's a big part of the reason why you started the podcast, is to do something outside of everything else to reinvent yourself, or is this more therapeutic for you?
It's more therapeutic. I think with podcasts, I like having the conversations with people like outside. Like, I don't want to like put it in a box like, oh, we got to talk about this show. I want to like kind of explore further than that. Kind of like how Michael Rosenbaum does on his podcast. He brings on people that he worked with on Smallville, or people he's worked with in the past, but he uses that as the gateway.
Right.
And then uses that to talk about the individuals that he has on the show. So for this show, I want to do that. I want to show the love for the show by introducing it to more people, but I also want to like have the audience get to know who I brought on and why I feel like they can really connect to the show. I was not hesitant to think that you would like the show. Same with my fiance. I knew she would like.
You were
the
like,
show.
just give it a chance.
Yeah, you just got to give it a chance. But yeah, I just I feel like it's a great way to like continue keep the energy of the show going, and keep the creators to keep making it, knowing that there is a fan base out there.
I mean, I'd assume that there is. They brought the show back
They
after,
brought the show back.
you know what I mean? After
and
it
they
was...
renewed it for
Yeah, I was gonna
15,
say.
16,
There you
17.
go.
Oh, really?
3 seasons
So it's
right after the
that-
first
Hey,
episode.
out of curiosity,
That's successful.
I'm assuming the animation styles
Different.
It is?
100% different.
Now?
I have a video on an interview I did with one of the earlier artists of the show that I did over in Pasadena. And he was there when it first started, and he talks about how the animation is different and how he doesn't like the new animation.
Really?
I don't personally mind it, but I kind of see where he's
Why?
going.
If you had to equate it to the difference in style, like, is it more like how X-Men 96 or X-Men 97 is kind of like a continuation of that X-Men, but like it's a little updated in terms of style?
The earlier seasons were kind of like drawn a lot like how the Invincible seasons were drawn. They were making 20 episodes a season.
Okay.
As you know, with Invincible, they do like take a lot of, I don't want to say shortcuts, but efficient ways to make the show.
Yeah.
And King of the Hill did that, and the older artist that worked on it, he was used to that style. He's not really used to how it is now.
Well, everything's changed, man. I was just at Pixar not terribly long ago.
Mm-hmm.
And like we even earlier today we were talking about, because that's another thing, we haven't done a show really, at least the three of us, since AI really became a thing.
Yeah.
So like,
yeah.
I was at Pixar recently, and it didn't really dawn on me until like later on, because it was for Toy Story 5, or it wasn't. It was for Hoppers actually, but we were at Pixar, and one thing that I realized is like we're talking all these animators, but now a lot of these animators are computer artists.
Mm-hmm.
It's like computer programmers, right? They're not necessarily
You just move this.
doing like, I mean, some people draw that stuff, but then after that, it's like framework. It's like all this other building within a computer.
Okay.
And then I think about like now where we are with AI, and not necessarily generative AI. I'm not talking about creating characters from scratch using prompts, but I'm talking about like the in-between art, right? So like to get characters to move and stuff, how efficiently that's done with AI now.
Yep.
And how that has essentially eliminated a whole process or a whole job.
It's inevitable that it's going to seep its way into the
So
animation
my
world.
question for you about that is, are you noticing a change in the animation that's affecting the way that you enjoy the show, or is it seamless for you?
I feel like for me, I don't know if it's ignorance or anything like that, but I feel like the story-driven arcs are overpowering what is actually going on the screen. I'm listening to the story.
The visuals secondary to you to compare it to like
And
the story.
It's a credit to one of their new writers, Saladin Patterson. He did the Wonder Years reboot, and he did a few other shows, but his like footprint on this show, I think he's just such a strong writer, and you could tell he's a real fan of the show. Yeah. Real fan of the show, even the little things.
I think that has to be the key, right? That has to be the key to making a successful revival. You either have to be the original creator, or you have to be the ultra fan of the show,
Yeah, that's true.
or series or franchise that's taking it over.
It's kind of like the guys that did Cobra Kai. They were Karate Kid hardcore fans.
And this is what I want to do with Power Rangers, guys.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I'm going to make it happen.
But before we go, I got little gifts for you. I know, like, the world is a little stressful. Things are stressful.
What is this?
This is a little propane.
Oh, yeah.
Where'd you get this?
Amazon, man, you know. So
These like stress balls?
yeah, stress balls. So Hank,
I thought these were going to be like shots or something.
Yeah, right?
I remember back in the day, Dan used to come in like with drinks in his hand.
yeah. Hank on the show is a propane salesman. He sells propane and propane accessories. So that's, you know, a little memento
I love
from
this.
the show.
This is cute.
I really do hope that you continue on the show.
Well, maybe I'll make that my next watch. So you know what? I've been on this animation kick lately, guys.
Okay.
I really have, mainly because I think animation. I know that there was the WGA and SAG strike earlier, and that's another thing that there was a strike even we would do.
Yes, it was a horrible strike.
But I felt like a lot of the things that they were arguing about in the strike or some of the things. I'm gonna say all the things, because some of the things. One of them was AI, and I found it interesting because I feel that like the ones that need to fear for their jobs the most with AI, at least in entertainment, is gonna be animation first. So I've been doing this animation kick and really getting
a real appreciation for it.
yeah.
as it
So
is.
like I've been checking out. I've really been kind of getting into, like, I'm not an anime guy. I've been getting into that a little bit. So I've been checking out, oh gosh, what is it called? Why am I spacing on this now? Because the camera's on. No, it's Solo Leveling by Studio. Solo Leveling I've been checking out. I love
That's
that.
an anime, right?
Yeah, and then Adi Shankar has
Devil May Cry.
Devil May
Devil
Cry
May Cry.
Season 2.
Yeah.
And I love Devil May Cry. And I really like that studio mirror that he's using. So I was just really kind of paying attention to like what that 2D animation landscape kind of still looks like.
And I'm getting a like stronger appreciation of voice acting.
Yeah.
Also. Like the work that goes into it. Like even like whenever we used to do conventions, we kind of like just breezed over through the voice acting
Nah, man.
sections. No, I want to sit and talk to these people.
Yeah, it's so interesting. I was going to ask you about Boomhauer because him and Bill actually. So Bill starts speaking French in that one episode that he meets his family. Is that actually the voice actor that did all that?
Stephen Root?
Yeah.
It might be, yeah.
And then for Boomhauer,
It's Mike Judge.
oh, it is.
So Mike Judge does Boomhauer and Hank.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow.
He does. Yeah, he does.
So wait, so when he's doing Boomhauer's like he was doing his movie voice or his regular, that's
his
him
regular
too.
voice is
Oh,
kind of
wow.
like Seth MacFarlane, you know.
That's great.
How he does.
I did not know that.
Well, you guys, thank you so much for being on the show. Next month, there's something pretty epic that's going to be happening for me, and you have been instrumental in like helping this kind of like come together and kind of like you don't know it yet, but you're gonna hold the whole thing together. I know it stresses you out.
What is this talking
know.
about?
Yeah,
know.
but in appreciation.
He's been talking to me about this.
In appreciation.
Oh, what?
Me and my fiance decided to get.
Yo!
That's amazing, dude. This is
This.
incredible.
I know we have a mutual friend that he
There
carries
we
on a
go.
belt whenever he wins, but you don't have a belt yet.
I don't know.
You're
I do.
the world champion on the mic. If you know,
Yeah, take a picture
You
with
just
him like
just
This
that.
is
Google
incredible, man. Thank you so much.
just Google Joe on YouTube and you'll
Bro,
know.
this season has screen rent and Illuminati.
And Illuminati,
plates?
yeah.
Are you joking me?
Nameplates.
Brother,
Nameplates.
this is incredible. Man. Thank you.
You and Daniel have definitely like
Oh,
just feels
dude.
yeah.
you
You
know,
and
it's
Daniel
so
have
good.
definitely like
Wait,
opened
I'm gonna
up.
take this piece off.
Yeah, you and Daniel have
Get that
definitely
shine.
opened up this world to
Ooh.
me, and I could.
What's wrong with that bad boy?
I'm forever grateful.
This is going into my. Yeah, I have a belt.
Oh,
case.
yeah.
Yeah, but this one's yours.
This one's mine. I
Man,
actually
this is dope.
earned
This
it.
is dope.
Dude, thank you so much. This is actually the coolest gift I think I've ever gotten.
So the only thing I ask for you is to continue this 13-season journey that you're on.
I am. So, yeah, listen, I'm into the show. I'm in. It took me a second. It didn't even take me a second, actually. The first episode that I watched, I was instantly hooked. Watching Bobby kind of go from this this dude that was getting picked on, and I see that his dad, obviously thinks he's going to take karate at the Y. And then he
Dude.
takes this women's self-defense class and the whole, like, that's
Well,
my purse or
But
whatever
the thing
it
is, did you notice also that Hank
Look at that gold shine
isn't
on your face when I
against-
hold his belt like that.
isn't really against bullying? It's just,
He wants his son to win in the fight.
yes.
Yep.
Yeah, 'cause
Hey,
that
when
was
you have a
very
kid, I'm
interesting.
very curious. Are you planning on having kids?
Who knows? Maybe.
Oh, is it something you guys have talked about, or is it something in the works? Or?
Yeah.
So I'm very curious to see how you're going to be when you handle like kids with bullying,
Yeah.
because it's a thing that I don't maybe our generation handled it a little differently.
Yeah.
Maybe, but like it's so out there, like it's so in your face. I'm very curious because you're not. At least you haven't been, in my experience, the quietest of guys when things
No.
things happen.
Yeah.
So I'm very curious to see how that.
I would definitely not punish them for standing up for themselves. My mom, who we do butt heads a lot.
Do you?
Yeah, it's because we're the same person. We do butt heads a lot. But as growing up, she was definitely the one that will always advocate for me and teach me how to advocate for myself. So even when I got into fights at school, when I defended myself or anything like that, she would never hold that against me because she knows that like this is what I taught you to do. So in a sense, I would maybe not to the extent of like getting super violent, but standing up for yourself for sure.
Wow.
Standing up for
Have your
what you
mom
believe.
ever watched an episode of King of the Hill with you?
Would you
My-
have you? Where are you going to do an episode with your mom and dad?
Seriously.
I'll try. I'm gonna try. It's hard to get them to sit down and watch something.
Well, can you get one of them at a time?
Yeah, I'll try. I'll definitely try. It'd be
All
definitely an
right,
interesting
top
episode.
5 people that you want on your show.
Yeah.
Ooh, Greg Daniels.
That's number 1, even ahead of mom and dad. Okay.
No, Mike Judge number 1.
Okay.
Then Greg Daniels,
Okay.
which he had mentioned he would like to be on the show. The Bobby's voice actor Stephen Root, and maybe
Wait, Stephen Root's Bobby?
no.
Bobby's
Stephen Root is Bill.
Oh, okay.
What's her name?
Plankin.
Yeah.
But also now part of the King of the Hill family, Ronnie Chang.
Oh, he's in the
Yes.
show.
Yeah.
He's my favorite comedian.
Yeah, Ronnie Chang definitely would like not just about his work, but also like what it was like kind of jumping into King of the Hill. He was brought on because he's playing Khan now.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
they wanted
to go to the offense.
Yeah.
Who played him before?
The guy that's playing the new Dale, because
There
the
you go.
Dale actor passed away.
Oh no.
Yeah. But yeah, well, you guys, thank you so much for.
Dude, thanks for having us. This is amazing, by the way. You want to hold that?
Yeah,
Dang,
isn't that
this is
crazy?
like-
That's
All
a
right.
real belt, brother.
Yeah, that's actually the same.
wow.
That's the same belt company that made Kingpin's belt in.
Is it
Born
really?
Again, yeah. Yeah.
Dang.
Well, me and
It's
Wilson Fisk have
it's
something in
a
common.
Mark. What's the Dallas Cowboys guy?
Mark
Mavericks?
Dallas? Or Mark Dallas? Mark Cuban?
Mark Cuban company. Yeah.
That's
Well, you
amazing,
guys-
dude. Thank you so
Daniel,
much.
thank you so much for being on the show.
Hey, man, this was
Joe.
Bro, thank
hopefully,
you.
if it's not King of the Hill, hopefully we do something again. Who knows?
Bring back Power Rangers.
We bring back Power Rangers. But you guys, thank you so much for listening to
Let's
the
do a
podcast.
wrestling show.
We'll do a wrestling show. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast and watching the podcast. Thank you to Manhattan Beach Studios for hosting us. This is an
Yes.
amazing location. If you guys don't know, it's like we are.
Yeah, so if you're in the LA area and you want to
crazy.
shoot your podcast, this is a great place to come. Come to Manhattan Beach Studios. This is the home of Avatar, the home of Star Wars. Come out. Actually, it's a pretty cool setup, and you get treated really well here.
All right. Well, thank you guys for listening and watching, and share the podcast, and hopefully we'll get Greg Daniels and Mike Judge on the show next. We'll see.
Let's go.
Thank you.
That ain't right.